Hey everybody, my name is Brian, I'm also known as Tweex, and I want to welcome you to a brand new web series that I'm going to be starting called Kung Fu Tweex. Now this is going to be a web documentary series that's going to follow my incredibly uncoordinated and spastic attempts at trying to learn traditional Kung Fu, or in the bigger picture, Shaolin. I want to use this series to accomplish three primary things. Number one, I want to use this series to actually document my training so that I can go back at a later date and see what I trained in and how I did it. Number two, I want to use this series as an outlet for me to express and to show some of the weaknesses that I have and to see how I'm pushing past them. And number three, probably the most important, is that I want to give you a first-hand opportunity to see what it looks like to train in Kung Fu. Now this very first episode is going to be all about the introduction, and not just an introduction to me and my current position at the school, but also the school itself and the man who runs it. I do know that these kinds of episodes can be rather boring, so I will keep it as short and to the point as I possibly can. So, let's start with the school. I train at a school called the LIU Shaolin Institute. Now LIU stands for Life Intelligence University. The school itself is owned and operated by an actual grandmaster from the Shaolin Temple in China. This man's name, Shi Daru, a 31st generation descendant from the Shaolin Temple. While it is true that some people may know him by his Western name, which is Shan Liu, myself and all of the other students actually call him Shifu, which when translated actually means teaching father. He officially opened his very first school in 1998 in Mobile, Alabama, and then a couple years later in 2001, he opened another school in New Orleans. Since 2001, there have been a few other campuses and a few other schools, but when we fast forward all the way to 2009, we see the opening of the most current and the most recent school in Atlanta, Georgia. The Atlanta school has actually become the primary headquarters and the flagship location for all of the campuses. And it's the Atlanta campus that I train at. I began my training in October of this past year, which was October 2012. To date, it's actually been about 5 months since I began my training, and right now I'm currently considered an orange sash. Now the reality is that every martial arts school and institution has their own belt and sash system, and in a future video I will take the time to describe how ours works. However, right now the most important thing for you to know is that I am still considered a beginner in every sense of the word. What's interesting is that even though I'm a beginner, our training, whether beginner or an advanced student, is largely the same. Our training is split up into three primary areas. We study Kung Fu, Tai Chi, and Sanshao, also known as Sanda, which is a form of kickboxing. For those of you who are MMA fans, Sanshao and Sanda has actually become a very popular fighting style. And for those of you UFC fans out there, if you know the names Patrick Barry or Kung Lee, what I think is amazing is that Shifu trained both of them in the style of Sanshao. Our training focuses on breathing and meditation, as well as learning traditional forms and practical applications. And when you reach a certain level, you actually begin training in weapons. In actual fact, I just began training in my very first weapon, which is staff. And suffice it to say, my body is covered in bruises. Ow, 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 ow. Now, in addition to those three major areas, Tai Chi, Kung Fu, and Sanshao, we also have the ability to study some smaller variations such as Tai Gong Flex, which is something that focuses on physical strength, flexibility, and conditioning of the body. And we also have the opportunity to learn about something called Chan Nutrition, which is a nutritional system to help improve your lifestyle. Now, the school's primary focus is to make us stronger by freeing both our minds and our bodies. The idea is that once we break through those mental and physical barriers, we'll actually be able to grow in ways that we never have before. I know that it may sound just a little frou-frou, and we may even seem like just a bunch of hippies. And believe me, I am nothing if not completely pragmatic in pretty much every aspect of my life. But the amazing thing is that I've already begun to see significant changes. Over the last 5 months, I have built up a considerable amount of physical and mental conditioning that either A, I haven't had in years, or B, I never had in the first place. However, despite all of these wonderful and amazing changes, I can assure you I'm still a noob. But even though I am a noob, I am still incredibly excited to take you on this journey with me, to show you what it looks like to train in Kung Fu. So with that said, I will go ahead and bring this episode to a close so I can get to work on the second episode. By the way, it has me doing Kung Fu. Spoiler warning, it's kind of embarrassing. So until next time, my name is Tweex, this has been Kung Fu Tweex, and I will see you guys next time. Zaijian.